Leonardo da Vinci is often called the greatest genius who ever lived. Painter, engineer, anatomist, architect, visionary to the world. He represents perfection, the ideal Renaissance man. But behind the legend lies a far more unsettling truth. Leonardo da Vinci was brilliant, but he was also deeply flawed, chronically unfinished, and perpetually restless. And much of his genius was accompanied by failure. Leonardo was born in 1452 in Italy, the illegitimate son of a notary. From a young age, his talent was undeniable. His drawings showed extraordinary precision. His curiosity seemed limitless. He asked questions no one else dared to ask. Yet Leonardo had one defining weakness that followed him throughout his life. He rarely finished what he started. Of the thousands of ideas Leonardo conceived, only a handful were ever completed. He abandoned paintings, delayed commissions for years, and left patrons frustrated and angry. Some of his greatest works, including major religious commissions, were simply never delivered. Even the Mona Lisa, his most famous painting, was never officially finished. Leonardo carried it with him for years, endlessly refining it, unable to let it go. To many contemporaries, Leonardo was unreliable. Behind his brilliance was a man paralyzed by perfection. Leonardo's notebooks reveal another uncomfortable truth. He was obsessed, not just with art, but with control, precision, and secrecy. He wrote many of his notes in mirror script, readable only with a mirror. Some believe this was to protect his ideas. Others believe it reflected paranoia or a desire for isolation. Leonardo lived much of his life alone. His personal relationships were distant, and his emotional world remains largely closed to us. He never married, had no known long-term partnerships, and maintained an air of detachment even from those closest to him. There is also the shadow of scandal. Leonardo was once accused of sodomy, a serious crime in Renaissance Florence, punishable by death. The charges were dropped, but the incident likely shaped his behavior forever. Afterward, Leonardo became more withdrawn, cautious, and nomadic, moving from city to city. Fear followed genius. Perhaps the darkest truth lies in Leonardo's legacy itself. Many of his most celebrated ideas, flying machines, armored vehicles, anatomical studies, were never realized in his lifetime. His visions were centuries ahead of available technology. While modern culture portrays him as a man ahead of his time, the reality is harsher. Leonardo lived in a world that could not use his ideas. As a result, he died without wealth, without an empire, and without seeing his greatest concepts change the world. Others, centuries later, would receive the credit for technologies he only imagined. Leonardo was not a fraud. But he was not the flawless figure history often presents. He was a man burdened by his own brilliance, unable to complete, unable to settle, and unable to belong fully to his time. The dark truth about Leonardo da Vinci is not scandal or cruelty. It is tragedy, a genius so vast that it outran his world, a mind so restless that it never found peace, a legacy built as much on what was unfinished as on what survived. Understanding Leonardo does not diminish his greatness. It makes it human. If you found this exploration insightful, please like the video. It helps the History Vault reach more people who care about serious, honest history. And subscribe to the History Vault for more deep dives into the hidden lives, contradictions, and human costs behind history's greatest names.